oh, that's just above and beyond. That's just too far. There's just too many variables. I don't want to go on anything like that. I know everyone is concerned because it appeared to be that the quote unquote oil price was dropping. And in combination with the oil price dropping and the supply chain issues across the planet starting to ease, I know a lot of folks said that because of the lockdowns in so-called China, that was going to extend the pain in the supply chains for many. And to a somewhat degree, that's true. Just not as severe as expected, primarily because a lot of parties have begun to onshore their manufacturing. What was sent over to so-called China to produce is returned back to various home markets. So, and it started a while ago, and it's only expanding and accelerating now. So you can't really see what's happening accurately with the supply chain issue if you don't take those type of things into account. However, that was contributory to inflation to a point. If you really want to see what's happening with inflation, you got to look elsewhere. If it's not just transportation costs, it's the cost of food, and the production of food. Fertilizer is through the roof. No end in sight for how, the rise of that particular price for folks that use fertilizer. Not supporting fertilizer, just saying. So when you look at particular things in that light, you're going to see that there's other variables. Then you have labor costs. Now, a lot of folks don't like a quote-unquote $15 minimum wage to foreign venue, so they're putting in all these machines. And the machines don't pay payroll tax, which does not support their Social Security, among other things. So there's going to be long-term issues for replacing bodies with machines. All these things in combination are going to wreck some folks in the foreign jurisdiction, and it's going to ripple across the planet. However, for our purposes, a $1,720,800,000 in gold fiscal budget law, which is 959,000 plus ounces of gold. The gold supply on the planet is the issue. We have been watching what's been happening and discussing for I don't know how long now. All these issues relevant unto the oil price because of this war between Russia and Ukraine, and how it impacts the buying power of our platinum, gold, and silver, particularly our silver, because that's what we had the most of. There are going to be consequences because a lot of folks have been pushing out a lot of paper not supported by anything. There are consequences to that. There are a lot of folks out there playing games with hackable, susceptible to EMP, worthless computer code that some call crypto, whatever that is. There are going to be consequences. The international banksters have their plans, but there's always this thing called the X factor. A lot of folks have programmed ideas because they are merely educated as opposed to being learned. And merely being educated has consequences. And those that are merely educated, you can't tell them a darn thing. They think they know everything and they know absolutely nothing. And there are consequences to that. We have been hoarding several things because we must. Because unlike others, we can see what's coming. All I ask us to do is be a little more patient. There's entirely too many variables. And dare I say, more than one X factor. The only question is where our folks are going to be in their minds. I'm not talking about our kith and kindred, the regular melanated heterosexuals. I'm talking about the nationals on both sides of the ocean. The thing about the ocean, it is no barrier anymore. It is not a border anymore. Fair enough. But we are still learning each other. We're still growing together as one. There are subcultures now that comprise the grand culture of the Amexem-Moor-Empire. There are subtleties and intricacies of protocols, and things are being learned. But a lot of old ways of thinking have to be shed on both sides of the ocean. And that's not as simple as it sounds. However, it must be done.